Hey guys, welcome back to another devlog into FedY. It's been a solid amount of time since the last one, so let's get right into what's changed. The most obvious thing you can probably see is that we've had yet another revision to the art. Now, this by far isn't our first one, and it probably won't be our last. We've gone from original art to super detailed to super not detailed. And none of them really felt right, and none of them really looked right when they were put onto a phone screen. So, me and my brother had the idea of trying to add a bit more depth to the tiles, adding shadows and 3 dimensions to them. And when we made the warehouse art, I just fell in love with it instantly. We quickly made the rest of the buildings mimicking the 3D style, and I love how it looks, and I think that we might stick with this for the rest of the game. A couple of new tiles were also created. These are the water tile for the coast and railroad tiles. Both the water and the railroads are unique to certain buildings, which there are now 4 brand new ones, which makes 5 in total. The first new one is called the administrative building. We're not really sure what we want this to do yet, but it's going to be something that can only be built on city tiles. I don't want to go into much detail because we haven't really worked it out yet, so I'll go to the next one. We re-added the airport into the game, but it no longer gives bonuses to warehouses. Instead, the airport gives 1 influence in a 2-tile range and can only be placed on empty land. The next tile we added was the train station. And the train station can only be placed on top of a railroad tile. And a station gives 3 influence in a 1-tile range, which means it doesn't give a lot of influence, but it can really give you a foothold along a railroad track. The final building we added is the harbor, which can only be built on water tiles. And a harbor is going to give 1 influence in a 3-tile radius. As of right now, I feel comfortable with these 5 buildings being all we're going to have probably up to the release of the game. If I want to add more, I might have to add brand new types of tiles because I love the chemistry that these 5 tiles have together. Prices is still something we have to figure out since our point system is still changing, but as of right now, warehouses are 1, airports are 3, and the stations, harbors, and administrative building are all 5. The last thing we did, and by far the biggest thing, is I actually coded working AI into the enemy. Now, before, the AI's code was pretty simple. Look at all the tiles, pick a random tile, if it's empty, put a warehouse on it. And while that was simple, it was so dumb, as you could probably see in my previous video where I was trying to make it to place it in a smart spot, but it refused to place a warehouse in a good spot. So I figured enough was enough, and I had to make actual AI. The way I did this was something called a reward and risk system. It's pretty simple. All it does is it looks at a tile, and it calculates how much reward it will give it. Reward is stuff like how many cities it's going to turn its color, how many cities it turns disputed, if it destroys another warehouse, if it's placed on non-city tiles, because that's always good. And a risk are things like placing them in an area where a warehouse where it could be destroyed, placing it in a spot where it's going to create disputed tiles where it could get destroyed. And by taking reward and subtracting the risk, the AI then picks whatever amount is the largest and places a warehouse on that tile. Now, despite the fact that there are now 5 buildings, the AI can only place down warehouses. It still puts up a pretty good challenge, and if you don't know what you're doing, it is possible to lose. As we make the maps bigger and bigger iterations and add a bit more complexity, obviously I'm going to have to overhaul this system probably, but I'm pretty sure I want to keep it with this risk and reward system. And the reason this is so great is because it allows us to create different types of AI. We could create more passive AIs, more aggressive ones, smart ones, dumb ones, and it allows us to very easily change the difficulty of the AI. So I like this system. That's everything that's been going on with FedY. Thank you all for watching. If you want to become a tester, link is in the description to both the iOS and Android links. You can download the game, you can test it, you can give me your feedback, and we'll put it into the game. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.